got everything under control. Right, Buttocks? Last minute safety checks. We're going to be going over those. She is good. Okay, fantastic. Let's go ahead then and open the gates. Easy, eyes on me, Blue. Hold, girl, eyes on me. Blue. Hey! There we go, that's more like it. Okay, steady, steady. Focus. Let's move. There we go, that's it. We're moving. Good. Good job, Blue. All right. Little disobedience there, but she's following those commands. Got a little head shake there a moment ago. That's a good sign. Let's go ahead and get started then with our first group of volunteers. Hopefully everybody here had an opportunity to read that liability waiver in its entirety, sign it, and return it back to us. We are going to have you stand right here towards the center. This is the safest place to be. And if you're feeling nervous, that is normal. Nothing bad's going to happen to you. Nothing bad has ever happened to any of our guests here during the Raptor Encounter. And it takes a lot of bravery to come up here. She can be very intimidating. But let me assure you, the way that she's looking at you two right now, this is very different than how she looks when she's in hunting mode. This is suggesting that empathy once again. Even getting protective of you with that water there. She doesn't want you to get splashed either. Round of applause for our first group, everybody. Not an easy thing to be the first one out the gate. Especially in front of our girl Blue. Well done, you guys. And Blue seemed to handle that very well too. We're going to be watching her behavior very closely. How she interacts with the first group can be very telling to what kind of encounter we are about to have. But she seems to be very calm. Is that a good day so far? Definitely had some animated moments here. And I love what you guys are doing. This tells me that you did in fact read those waivers. You're turning your back to her. Very good, thank you. I'm sure this feels counterintuitive, and under any other circumstance, we would not advise that you don't look at this creature and you turn your back to her. The reason we're asking you to do it here, and the reason why it is actually safer to do it in this environment, is twofold. First and foremost, you're breaking that eye contact and putting yourself in a more vulnerable position. What that does is that shows that you're not a threat. And she can sense that here, especially with our very young guest. I'm not sure if you picked up on it, but she tilted her head to the side pretty far. That's a good sign. That body language is something that we see when she's with her younger sisters. Those are 6 months of age, both Tango and Sierra. Tango is a baby velociraptor you can meet today, as a matter of fact, in just a little while. But we're seeing a lot of these same behaviors that show that maternal instinct she has with our young guests. You just saw a little glimpse of that here. Excellent. Shows that sign of comfort that we're hoping for. And this is a good way of showing her that we are not prey. It's a very important distinction that we need her to make for everybody's safety, of course. Her prey would never approach her. They would never turn around. As soon as they saw her, they would flee the area immediately. That's why we're asking you to do none of those things. We want her to make a very strong dissociation between humans and prey. So we're asking you to do these things, and that's how that's keeping you safer. You're training her when you come up here. It's not just a chance to get a photo. You're actively training her, and that documentation is something that we can study and further use to understand these beautiful creatures. Now you can see that she is a little animated. She's got all this movement going on. This is a pretty good, healthy baseline for our velociraptors. Keeping a little bit of that movement, shifting her weight, shifting her focus very gently around the perimeter. What we don't want to see is what I call the hunting behavior. We are not seeing it right now, and that's a very good sign. That would include extreme stillness and quiet. Got a little bit of that stillness right now though, so good thing that you guys turned your back in that moment. You may have noticed how that tension immediately ceased, right? She went from stillness, you turned around, and then she eased up a little bit. As intelligent as Blue is, she does not understand sarcasm or humor in the way that you and I do. So she's gonna take everything that's in front of her very literally. So that's why we always advise that you're very cautious of your movements, of that eye contact, how long you're holding it. Prolonged eye contact is considered a threat in the wild. You don't want her to think that you're trying to threaten her over her territory. Excellent work. If you guys have questions as you reach the front of the paddock, feel free to ask. This is also a learning opportunity for everybody. We're happy to tell you a little bit more about our dinosaurs. Now careful not to get too close by that fencing there. If you or anything else falls into the paddock, there's no guarantee it's coming back out. And she is very territorial. Right now you're seeing a little bit more of that calmer side, which is ultimately a good thing. But velociraptors are extremely protective of their surrounding areas, and especially Blue, because she is the alpha female of her pack. Her pack will not be joining us. She's got 3 sisters in her pack, Charlie, Delta, and Echo. They're all 3 years of age. They do not share the same restraint that Blue has, nor that same empathy. You seem very confident walking up here. That's a good thing. It's that alpha energy. That could go one of 2 ways with her. If she senses that you have that alpha energy as well, she, in this particular case, may have taken that as a challenge. Look at how still she's getting right now, and she is very focused on our guest. Let's have you break that eye contact and have you slowly go off to the side. Easy. No, ma'am. Easy. We are getting those stalking steps right there. Just remain calm. Eyes on me, Blue. Blue, focus. She is very hesitant to listen. She did ultimately look back towards the center, and she is disengaging of her own accord. This is why we say that she is a wild animal, everybody. She's very well trained, but only to a certain extent. And what you just saw is a really good way to witness how she is related to birds. You might have noticed that she had that moment where she was standing up on one leg. That's due in part to that avian DNA. She is the predecessor to modern day birds. They are all theropods. That means that they have hollow bones and 3-toed limbs. So if you see her doing something that looks bird-like, that's not a coincidence. That's her DNA. And we're seeing it again right here. She's doing this a lot when there's a lot of eye contact. Easy, girl. Look at the way that she's leaning in. Her body nearly parallel to the ground here. Slow steps. Let's have you guys eyes towards the camera. We want to break that eye contact right now. We don't want to continue to stare her down. Easy, girl. Easy, Blue. Hold. Easy, Blue. Settle. Let's hold the line for just a second, Pet Techs. Let's hold the line for just a second. She seemed to be very interested, so we're going to pause for just a moment. Everyone back up. Give her a little bit of space here. She might get a little agitated, and I don't want her taking out any aggression on anybody here. You can see what happens once we do back up. She will fill that space. And I think she might be looking towards you because of the bright red colors that you have on. Just stay still. That's okay. Don't worry. Blue, eyes on me, girl. Eyes on me, Blue. That Tex, let's make note that she's starting to hesitate. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Blue. No, ma'am. Back it up. Back it up. Testing me. You guys sign those liability waivers as well, right? Yeah? Perfect. Thank you so much. Let's continue with an abundance of caution. So not a lot is going to change for you guys, but we are going to adjust. Easy, Blue. Settle. Very good. We're going to continue as normal. Have you guys towards the center. If we continue as normal, and it's going to increase the chances that Blue settles down. So you guys can see this, yeah? You can see the subtle change in that behavior, the way she's holding her body. You can tell when she has her sights focused on something. And when that happens, if you find that that's you, you're going to want to break that eye contact. Great job. You are back. You came on back and you're like, I'm going to do that again. Now, she did follow you with her gaze when you left, and another person with a bright red shirt. Let me explain that further here. She is definitely focused on you guys, so please be careful. No sudden movements as you go. What's happening right now is she sees that color. She has now had the reward system triggered in her brain. There is a literal chemical reaction that's going on. When she sees the color red, she strongly associates that with food, hence the reward system. So if you have anything on you that is red, you just want to be a little more careful. The reason, if you're wondering why she's not taking that even further, is because of her sense of smell. Just because she sees the color red doesn't mean it's automatically something she's going to want to take a bite out of. Her sense of smell is going to confirm or deny that there. She's seeing a lot of movement over to the side right there with that red shirt again. We might be getting a little impatience from her. You see the way that she is pacing around the paddock right now. She is on a strict feeding schedule, and I do fear, I do fear that she is definitely getting hungry. So you are very brave to come up here after this. Stay towards the center, and please watch your step. You see how she's eyeing those boats over there as well. There's a number of reasons she does this. She doesn't like the water either. So just, yeah, stay right here towards the center portion. The only reason she allows me to go back here is because I am one of her trainers, and I've been with her ever since she hatched 3 years ago. If one of you tried to come in here or even gave the appearance that you were trying to get in here, she would not tolerate it. And this body language, the way she was pacing, the way she was moving with a little bit more urgency, you witnessed that, yeah? You handled it beautifully, staying as calm as possible. That is the single best thing you can do in a situation like this. She is getting hungry. Look at the way that she's looking back towards the paddock there. Is our line closed? No. She's just definitely getting hungry, so we're gonna have to be cautious. I'm very curious to see what happens if we do continue. You see how she's studying the paddock? She even knows. This is her sign of intelligence there. She knows where those mechanics are, where those buttons are to open and close those gates. Even inspecting old scratches that she has made herself in the walls here. This was very early on in her training process, long before we ever brought her out to the public. Testing this area here, as you can see, the evidence there of all those scratches. It's been a process to get her prepared and ready to be out here the way that she is. Yeah, so have your cameras prepared. That warning chop right there, a little bit quicker, a little sharper. It's because she's noticing something out of normal. Right this way, towards the center. Yeah. Easy? That's what I was just saying a moment ago. If you guys get too close to this area, she might think you're trying to get inside. I love what you're doing though, that same gesture. You see me do this very frequently. That means to disengage. It's one of the physical gestures she is familiar with. Something else she is familiar with, as I mentioned earlier, that is Tango. That is her 6-month-old sister there. And now she's calling out to her elder sister. She is getting very protective here and perhaps a little impatient.
Yeah, you know what? I gotta get out of here. That's an aggressive check.
She's getting a little more active. And we're getting some of this circular motion, highly unusual. Let's have you guys turn around. Let's make sure we get this documented here. Easy, girl. Now, I don't want to have to cut this short. We always will, because safety is our #1 priority. Hopefully, my morbid curiosity is not getting the best of me right now. It's going to be one of our last calls, you guys. This might be a good opportunity to have her settle here, since there's a natural fall. Steady. Easy. Easy, Blues. Notice those claws there on the bottom. That time she has retracted those 6-inch claws. Steady, girl. I'm going to try to change tactics here. See if I can calm my voice down just a bit. Easy, Blue. Easy, settle. Good. Settle. That's it. That's it, girl. Good job, Blue. Okay. Last call. Last call, ladies and gentlemen. Now, somebody did ask earlier, I mentioned here that she has an opportunity to feed after this. Somebody asked, Do you do that out here? No, we do not. As a reminder, she is an obligate carnivore. That means she swallows her food whole. It is voracious. It is messy. And not something that we are prepared to share with the public. Are we going to call it that? Easy girl. Use this moment as an attempt to see if we can try to keep those nerves calm before we bring her back in. Again, she is a creature of habit. So if she senses normalcy from us, whether it's the tone of voice, whether it's the flow of guests coming through, anything that's familiar to her is an opportunity for her to regain that sense of comfort. We are going to go ahead and close the line at this point just for time. So for those of you that have just joined the queue, be prepared by having those cameras out. We're going to have your whole group come up at the same time. Group documentation here, not just for the sake of time, but for your safety at this point as well. Given the way that she's behaved, go ahead and face the camera. It's okay. I'm still going to watch your back, of course. I'm not going to leave you guys hanging in any of that ways. But we want to take any precaution that's available to us, and there's safety in numbers. So the more people she sees in front of her, the less likely, it's not a guarantee, nothing with her ever is, but the less likely she's going to be to act out in a way that we would prefer that she wouldn't. The way that you guys are linking arms around each other is fantastic. That's the human shield technique. You are successfully making yourself appear bigger than you are. Great way to fend off potential predator. If you guys are together, is this our last group? We got one more together, perfect. Couple of solo shots here, very brave ladies after what we have seen her do. This is our last guest. I really hope I don't mean that literally, so just stay as calm as you are right now. Vetex, we're gonna make sure, eyes towards the camera, we're gonna make sure that that exit is clear for our last guest. We are casualty free. Thank you so much for your participation, everybody. Always a good thing to say, nobody got eaten. Let's keep it that way. Vetex, those gates are open. Blue, eyes on me. That's it, girl. Back it up. Center up, girl. Good job, Blue. Back it up. Gates.
We hope you enjoyed your time with our Velociraptor today. Your participation in the Raptor program is vital for the safety and training of our animals. We are thrilled to bring you the planet's most exciting and up-close dinosaur encounters, only here at Jurassic World.